Hey, and welcome to You Hustle, panel discussion and live Q&A featuring women of color in the world of YouTube and content creation. I'm super excited that you're here. Make sure you go ahead and grab yourself a nice little bubbly drink, a snack, because it is going to be a juicy one. But before we hop right on into it, I'm super excited to announce that my new ebook is now available. You Hustle, the ultimate guide to going through and becoming a paid influencer in the year 2023, you guys. This is the growth hack ebook. So what's included? You're going to get 2 media kit templates. If you're having a hard time reaching out to brands, you don't know how to go through and present yourself, you need these media kit templates. You're also going to get a brand pitch email template as well. So if you're having a hard time going through and contacting brands, you don't know what to say, girl, I went ahead and wrote it all out for you. You're also going to get a YouTube video planner template, the 3 C's to growing on YouTube, and this is what I'm most excited about, 10 websites that you can go through, create an account for, that is going to help you land paid brand deals and sponsorships. Girl, if that's not worth it, I don't know what else to tell you. And then you're also going to get 10 YouTube growth hacks as well. Make sure you guys go ahead and click the link down below, only $37. This is going to be your secret gem to becoming a paid influencer in the year 2023. Let's hop right on into the panel discussion. It is going to be a good one. I'm super excited for you to listen in. Let's go.
How is it going? I am super excited for tonight. Y'all, it has been just on my spirit to do something for YouTubers, to do something for just influencers in the community. I feel like I've been an influencer for a few years now, so I'm super excited to just do something specifically for women of color, all skin tones, all hair textures. So I'm really excited for tonight's little panel discussion. So those of you guys who are watching right now, we are going to be doing half panel discussion and also half live Q&A. So be sure to go ahead and start leaving some questions inside of the Q&A box. We'll be heading over into that section a little bit later on tonight, but I definitely want to give the ladies an opportunity to go ahead and introduce yourselves. And yeah, let's get it popping. I'm excited for our conversation tonight. I feel like influencing is like a really big world right now, and I know it hasn't been that big since a lot of us started. So I'm really excited for us to dive into the conversation. So we can start with Kaylin. Go ahead and introduce yourself, tell the people who you are.
Oh, I get to go first. Hey, everybody. My name is Kaylin, also known as Kaylin's Corner on social media. I have been a content creator for 3 years this year, but I also work in social media influencer marketing, and I'm based in Dallas. But yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. Go ahead, Brittany.
Hi guys, I'm Brittany, based out of Atlanta. I was a social media manager in the corporate space. I am celebrating close to 1 month in full-time entrepreneurship. So I have been a full-time influencer for 4 weeks now, but I've been doing it as a side hustle for maybe about 5 years. Still trying to navigate through all the new platforms, just like all of you.
Awesome. Go ahead, Key. You're on mute.
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Hey, y'all, I'm Kiana, known as The Key Is Me. I'm based in Atlanta. I just moved from Tampa, so I'm new to Atlanta. I have been a content creator, influencer for about 6 years now, and full-time since 2020. So it's been 3 years.
Awesome. And Paris, you're on mute. Paris, you're on mute. Let me see.
You guys hear me? Is there something about
me? I can hear you now.
Okay. My name is Paris. I am an influencer / content creator / whatever you want to consider it. You know, it gets very technical nowadays. I'm from New York. I'm 25 and I'm based in Atlanta, Georgia. I see some familiar faces on the panel, so I love that. I can't wait to get into it. I own my own clothing company, hair company, and just all different types of businesses, y'all, while juggling the reality of life. So I'm really excited to talk to you guys and speak on this panel today.
Awesome. And we have Miss Chanel, the brand hustler. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people. I think you might be on mute. or it might be my connection.
It's me. Sorry, y'all. So I am Chanel. I am a brand strategist and I'm based in Atlanta, Georgia. I started off as a shoe boutique owner that was also in the corporate marketing world. And then I left my 9-to-5 and started doing brand strategy full time.
Awesome, awesome. And hey, y'all, hey, I am Troyia Monay. I am a business coach over here at Her Hustle Academy. I teach women how to launch, grow, and scale product-based businesses. I'm also a boutique owner, and then I'm also a YouTuber as well. So I'm really excited for tonight's discussion. Go ahead and let us know inside of the chat, because the chat look a little dry right now. So I don't know what's going on. Y'all sleep, like what's going on? The chat pretty dry. We got 120 people in here. We got over 600 people that registered for the event. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a lot of people sprinkling in and out of tonight's webinar. So go ahead and let us know inside of the chat who you are and where you are from. Go ahead and rep your city, rep your town, and all of the things. So I'm really excited for tonight. And also let me know inside of the chat, who did you come here to see? I know all of these ladies have a huge community. So I'm pretty sure their communities are here showing up and showing out. So let us know that as well.
Troyia, they said the chat is disabled.
Yeah, okay. I'm like, what's going on? Because the chat real dry. Okay, let's see how we can get this going, y'all. Give me a second. Zoom in all of their features. Let's see. Where did I go before to get it?
Try going to Zoom on the browser. Sometimes they have extra settings there. And they have all these new settings now ever since that data breach happened. Yeah.
Okay, try it now, y'all. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go.
Oh yeah,
okay.
I can see it.
Oh, it's a lot.
Y'all.
I know they're going crazy.
We got Raven from NC. Who else we got? It's moving so fast, I can't even see names. And
wait a minute, I see somebody from South Africa.
Oh,
in Toronto. Come on through, international.
It's the Tampa girl showing off for me. Okay, Tampa.
Anybody from Texas?
Florida, Atlanta.
Right.
Anybody from Brooklyn, New York? Where's New York?
I saw my mom.
Oh, my mom is on here. Hey, Mom.
Hi, Jose.
Hello.
Well, come on, Dallas.
Dallas. Okay, Kaylin, Dallas in the building for you.
Yay.
All right, y'all. So I'm super excited for tonight. I definitely want to dive into the conversation. So let's just start real hot. Let's address the elephant in the room. How do y'all feel about this potential TikTok ban that is going around circulating? And let's just go ahead and let's just get it started. Let's get it popping real early.
I am devastated. I'll say that first. I am devastated. I love TikTok. I feel like, there's a lot of things we missed out on in life, and I feel like TikTok brings it all together. School couldn't teach us a lot of things on TikTok. We learned so many DIYs from TikTok, and I feel like as we grow, our attention spans get shorter, so nobody really wants to sit and watch a YouTube video about how to glue a wig down, or how to get the scratches off your car, or how to get a discount on a flight. And I just feel like it's so beneficial to everybody. And I've seen so many people from all over the world that if I would have just seen a thumbnail, I probably would have never clicked on it, and I probably would have missed out on a lot of information. So I feel like TikTok doesn't, I don't know about y'all too, but I feel like TikTok is also a form of like therapy. And it's just like, I'm so lost in what's going on in the world. I'm gonna scroll on TikTok for like 2-3 hours and be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Come back when I tell you about it, that was me last night. I couldn't sleep. So I'll literally just wake up in the middle of the night, grab my phone. It's so toxic though. Grab my phone and just scroll on TikTok for like an hour until I fall back asleep. That's so terrible, but that is me.
For sure.
Someone inside of the chat said, can we provide a backstory as to what is going on with TikTok and why is it a potential ban? So I did a YouTube video on this like a few weeks ago. And the reason why that there is a ban is just because it is just data, and the government just feels like they don't have control over the data as it relates to TikTok, because it's not a US based and US grown and founded company. It's based in China. And of course, we know it's always deeper than that. It's always going to be money involved, which I really think is the big issue here, because they don't have any shares when it comes to TikTok. So that's just a little bit as to why the ban is in existence. But anybody else want to share?
I was just going to ask, is it me, but on TikTok now, I can pump out 5 vlogs a day on that platform.
Yes, it's so easy.
Yeah.
Kind
I
of
don't think I can do that, but go ahead, girl. You got that.
yeah, I literally lost my passion for editing for YouTube because I'm so used to just pumping out quick TikToks that I really had to decide like, okay, today is YouTube day and then tomorrow will be TikTok day, you know?
Yeah, I don't know if y'all experience the same thing, but I feel like my TikTok audience is so much more engaged that for YouTube, I was like, okay, like I'm kind of tired, not tired of doing YouTube, but it's just not as rewarding as it used to be because my TikTok community, they quick, they be moving. So I think for me, I felt a little bit of a lag when it came to YouTube because I was so spoiled by TikTok and my community on there.
Yeah,
I
I
got
think
started
you want to
late
dive
on
into
TikTok.
TikTok. I feel like I have no presence on TikTok at all. Like
Yeah, me
YouTube is
either.
my biggest platform. I have 5 TikToks up, and they
But
all
maybe
random.
your purpose is just watching and learning instead of creating. Because I feel like either way, you can find something to do a benefit off of TikTok by itself. I love TikTok, y'all. I'm gonna be so sad if they get rid of it. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life.
Anybody else want to share?
I'm kind of hot and cold. I haven't made my decision yet. It's like, it's good because you could get a lot of traction on it. And once a video takes off, it takes off. But then in a sense, if you think about the attention span of everyone and how that just continues to decrease and how that affects your marketing for your business, then it's like, do I really want TikTok to stay around, or do I want people to kind of go back to consuming longer form content and reading and things like that? So that way I could be more transparent, or I could give more tea on certain things. Like TikTok is so quick, like you just gotta, like, you know, you'll see something and it's on to the next creator. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna like binge all of your content.
Yeah, I can definitely see that for sure. And it's crazy because I feel like YouTube, and another reason why I really wanted to do this panel is I feel like YouTube is the hardest platform to grow on, but it has been the easiest platform for me to grow on for whatever reason. I can owe that to the pandemic, but it definitely is so hard today to grow on YouTube. So that's another reason why I really wanted to make sure that I had this panel. So let's start with Key. Tell us a little bit more about how you got started into YouTube.
So for me, I've been like most people probably watching YouTube back in high school. We got our faves, Jackie Inas, Troyia Monay, Jayla Corian. I remember when I went to FAM, I was just watching all her vlogs when she was in college. That was something that I wanted to do too. But for me, my channel got started a little different than, you know, what most people would do. So I actually went on a celibacy self-love journey. And a year into that, I was just finding different ways. I was kind of in a season of like decreasing a lot of different things. And so during that time, I stopped getting like my hair done, my nails done, and I had to find different ways to do my hair. And so I picked up crochet and I decided to just, let's turn the camera on as a hobby and let's just post videos. And I started doing crochet, and then next thing you know, it just took off.
Awesome.
So for now, I'm just kind of dabbling in like crochet, wigs, travel, all of that stuff. But I started off doing crochet.
Awesome. Paris, go ahead and piggyback off of that, because I know you do hair videos too. So tell us a little bit about how you got started on YouTube as well.
Well, to be completely honest with you guys, one of my favorites was, well, she still is, you know, but one of my favorite people to watch was the Peak Mills, was the Malibu Dollface, was the Aaliyah Jays. And I've always been into doing hair. I'm talking the clip-on buns. I'm talking the half wigs, like taking it all the way back, you know? So hair's always been my passion. And if I had to just give a little context, I kind of went from the stage of sew-ins to wigs. And that's when the wig videos started coming out. So I'm like, let me just create a video. I want to feel like Aaliyah J. I want to be pretty. Let me just see. So, you know, I started off with You Nice. And to be completely honest, I wasn't planning on, I didn't think YouTube was really paying at the time. So it was just a love for being on camera and just doing stuff. I was just experimenting. And then once I realized you can get paid, I was trying to decide whether I wanted to continue with my own hair company. Because if you got your own company and a company want to pay you to do the same thing, you like, you want to decide. But once I found out I can get paid for doing something that I love, suddenly I was just like, and I'm like, oh, y'all paying now? All right, let me do it. I would just, get by for my business. But yeah, I won't lie to you guys though. I really want to make it important to be transparent with you guys. And I feel like, although I love doing hair and that's my first love, that's my passion, it's not what it used to be. So it's just kind of like, I feel like it's very oversaturated. I feel like everybody's just gluing something down and doing a flat twist aside, and it's a lot. But I definitely appreciate YouTube for being such a big platform for beauty influencers. I feel like we learned so much. Like,
Definitely do.
Definitely. Go ahead, Kaylin.
Yeah, for me, so when I got started, kind of similar to you guys, I was seeing all my favorites, like the Aaliyah faces, the Kyras, and I was like, I think I can do that. But for me, why I started my channel is because I'm a thicker girl, I'm a curvier girl, so I wanted to do fashion videos and cater to women that have a similar body type to me, because I wasn't seeing it. There was a couple of white YouTubers I followed that had like 1 million followers, and they had a platform for curvy women. I was like, I'm gonna do that for me. So I started off into fashion, but as I started doing it more, I got more into vlogging, and I don't know, I just found a love for it. I'm kind of like a media nerd, so I like cameras and I like things like that. So that's how I got started. That's how I've been doing it. And I'm trying to get back more into fashion, because I was like, that's why you started this, girl. But blogging is just easy. I can just pick up my camera and go.
Awesome. Go ahead, Chanel.
So I was one of those people who had a channel and didn't use it for a while, where I posted 2 videos and then disappeared. I'm a person who I am very hands-on. I like to cook. I like to do crafts and things like that. So back when I was in corporate America, my second to last job, I needed an outlet. So I decided to record me creating, I think it was like fur slippers and like a diamond mirror or something like that. And I made that a video, and then I did a second video, which was like a get to know me video. Even though I only had like 10 subscribers at the time, I did a little get to know me video, and then I disappeared off of the face of the internet. And what made me come back and actually kickstart the channel that I have now was, after opening my shoe boutique, I thought that it would be helpful to share the business essentials that I had to run my shoe boutique. And when I was looking for similar content, I wasn't really finding it, or I was finding it and the people didn't look like me. And so one of the people who I actually looked at, she didn't have a product-based business. Her name is Erin On Demand, but she like stepped out and started creating content because she didn't see a lot of Black women in the space recording and documenting their life. And I thought to myself, okay, well, maybe I should just step up and do that. And then I made that business essentials video that one day, and then I continued pretty much from there, and it took off.
Yes, Erin getting a lot of love in the chat. We should have reached out to her to be on the panel.
Yeah, I love Erin.
I love her too.
Awesome. Go ahead, Brittany.
So right after high school, I'm originally from North Philly, and right after high school, my parents decided to move down south for some reason. And of course I was going. And so imagine the Lord dropping you into a new city. I was going to college online, so there was no place where I can meet girls my age. I started vlogging on YouTube, and I'm just like, hey y'all, I'm in Atlanta, I'm from North Philly, where y'all at? Where the guys at? Like, I just wanted to be outside, but I didn't know anybody. Fast forward, I met all of my favorite YouTubers now to this day, and girls just started reaching out to me. Sis, I'm in Atlanta, I'm at Spelman, meet me at Morehouse. And I just started building connections through my blogs. I just got married, and my maid of honor was actually a girl. She went to Alabama State. She was in Atlanta, like, sis, I'm here, let's link. It sounds crazy, but yes, my maid of honor ended up being a subscriber that just was in the city and wanted to reach out. And so I just kept it going. I was just building a whole new life, reinventing myself. And I was like, forget it. I'm in a new city. I have this camera, and that's the only way I could make friends. Now that I'm saying it, I sound kind of weird, but I'm
Don't
At all.
That's really, that's so cool. Like, that is,
yeah.
so your maid of honor was a subscriber. Wow, that is crazy. Social media, boy, I tell you. Awesome. So my journey is very similar to Chanel's. When I first started YouTube, I was in college, and I went to FAMU just like Key, go Rattlers.
Yes.
So when I was at FAMU, I was like, let me just do some, videos about like school, because I know when I first started going to FAMU, I was like, let me see if there's any, HBCU related videos out there. And there was some, but it wasn't a lot. And I fell in love with just watching people's like college experience. So I decided to make a couple of my own. And I mean, they did okay, but they didn't do like my numbers that I'm doing today. So I just fell off the face of the earth, similar to Chanel. Was trying to really find myself and find my career and all of the things. So after that, I really wanted to just like go through and start a business, but it was no business YouTubers. Like if there was, they was not our color. And they was talking in some languages that they was not our color, and they was talking some language that I just did not understand.
Right.
It was so dry.
That we don't sell.
Very dry.
Very dry. Very dry. It would be like old white men, basically. So I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and let me start documenting my journey. So it kind of just blew up from there. And I honestly would say like the pandemic for me was like a really big time for a lot of YouTubers, I feel like, because everybody was just sitting at home trying to find something to do. And not only were they sitting at home trying to find something to do, everybody was sitting at home trying to find something to do and start a business. So all the business YouTubers, I feel like that is when our content really went ahead and just blew up, because we were just sitting out here providing like business advice for everybody who wanted to just go through and start anyway. So that is kind of how my YouTube journey kind of came about. So I know everybody wants to get into the good topics, which is sponsorships, brand deals, all of the things. So let's just go ahead and cut right on into it. So everybody, let's kind of talk about like what was our first sponsorship. Anybody want to start if y'all remember?
Right, I'm thinking.
I think mine was with Allocate Naturals. And at the time I was doing natural hair. So they were sending me different products and stuff, but that was my first. I was a brand ambassador with them for like 3 or so months.
Okay.
Yeah, it was my first one.
My first one was with a brand called Hella Rocky. Now that I remember, it was like, it's a clothing wholesale company. And y'all like know I was doing like, clothing boutique stuff at the time. Like that was more so my content. So that was my first ever sponsorship deal. And I was so happy that I got it. And it was only $250. But I was
something back then.
And that's how they got me.
That was something.
So happy. And then they also said they're gonna send me free clothes too. Oh, I was ecstatic. $250. Oh, I was lit. But anybody else remember their first brand deal?
I think my first brand deal had to, well, I know it was a hair company for sure. I know it was either Beauty Forever or Nadula. And that's when I was kind of contemplating. And I see somebody ask, do you reach out to them or did they reach out to you? So here's the thing. For, I guess, people who are starting completely fresh, it is more smart for you to, of course, have a portfolio, because you can't reach out to someone and want to, work for them or get sponsored, whatever, and you don't have any work to show for it. But if you're starting fresh, I definitely feel like you should reach out to them, say, hey, I can offer you this, that, and the third, and then have them work out, a deal for you. But what I will say is this, piggybacking off of your $250, I was like, okay, I know they either want a video and pictures or 2 videos and a picture. So I was like, there was nobody out here saying you should start your price at this, you should start your price at that. And I'm like, okay, I'm a college student. I know anything will help, but I don't want to lowball myself either. So I was like, okay, let me do, I think I started at like, but either 175 or 300, something like that. And they actually agreed for me to do it. I thought that was so much money until the summertime came and they reached out to me and they was like, I'll offer you $600. I was like, $600 videos, if that's what you want, because it's like at the time you think these things are big, but my biggest advice as far as for pricing and stuff like that, always oversell. So if you feel like, okay, if you feel like you're comfortable, which we all want the most money, but say something realistic, $300-400 just to start, immediately say $500. And if they don't agree, then you guys can negotiate down, but don't ever lowball yourself because you don't know what they're willing to pay. So just always go up a few $100 and then y'all talk it down and you just might make more than what you was originally offering, but never do your set price because you just never know.
And I just want to add on to that real quick. So that's when I was talking about with working with Allocate Naturals, I didn't even know at the time that I could be scaling up and getting more money from companies. So one thing I could definitely say that helped when I was transitioning from doing natural hair with wigs, like how she was saying, I think my first sponsor video was with Nadula Hair as well. They found me because I was already posting wig content. So that helps too. Like if you're already posting, it's easy for you to go on their Instagram and DM them and say, hey, this is what I'm already doing. And then they may offer you $150. I think mine was $150 or something like that. I think they told me to get to 1,000 views and then they'll pay me $150. And that was like real quick at the time. And so with that, just having like a portfolio already doing wigs and y'all already post them, that's kind of a good way to go ahead and get in the door as well when it comes to hair, at least.
Yeah.
Piggyback off of Key, I was actually going to say that too. Either you want to post and mention the brand's name already, or even mention their direct competitor. So my first brand deal was with a company called Zyro, and they're a website design platform that I'd never heard of until that day when they reached out to me. But the reason they reached out to me is because I did a set of Shopify videos where I broke down step-by-step how to make your Shopify store in 2 parts. And that video ended up blowing up. And at the time I had actually reached out to Shopify, but they didn't want to give me a deal. Instead, they made me a partner, which that means they didn't pay me. I only got paid if I designed a site for someone, which was great down the line because I created an agency, but all the business that I'm sure they got from that video, I should have gotten paid. However, a lot of competitors started reaching out to me, like Wix, Zyro, some other platforms, all the things. And so that's how I was able to score my first brand deal. I don't remember how much it was, but I'm sure it was very, very, very low. But that's just a tip too. Like you can start posting content already, mention the brand so that they see that you actually use it, or even mention the direct competitor, because the people on their marketing team, their job is to continue to research their competitors to see how they can level up against them. But yeah.
I feel like taking back off of Paris, one of my like really big tips that has really helped me a lot when it comes to brand deals is I never ask them about budget. Like instead of me telling them how much I want to charge, I always ask them, what's your budget? Because if I ask you what your budget is and you tell me your budget's $5,000, but I probably was only going to say that I only wanted $2,000, then I'm going to go with your budget that you said you already told me initially. So I always, just before I even tell you how much I charge, I'm always asking you what your budget is. And it's crazy because I just got a $10,000 sponsorship deal. And I asked the company what their budget was. And if I did not ask them how much their budget was, I was going to tell them my normal rate, which is like $3,000. So they was going to literally not give me my 10K. So yes, never tell them ever. And I really want to hear Kaylin talk about this because y'all, Kaylin works in influencer marketing. She is literally an influencer marketing manager. So I really want to see how you feel about like all of this discussion, because you kind of see it on both sides.
Yeah, I was going to say one thing that I like to do is look at an influencer stats. Like no matter how many followers you have, for me and for other influencer marketing managers, engagement is super, super important, because you can have 3,000 followers, but a 10% engagement, and you might do better than somebody that has 200,000 followers. So my advice would be to know your stats. So know your engagement, know what your audience likes, and be able to show that to the influencer rep, because whenever they're negotiating, whenever we're looking at it, we gonna try to lowball because we got a budget. That's just how the game goes. We know y'all are highballing and we're gonna negotiate. But if you come at an influencer manager like, hey, I know this is your budget, but my engagement is this, and this is a sponsorship deal that I've done for another brand, then it's easier to negotiate, because it's like, okay, I know that you know your stuff. But for me, I try to look out for women of color, because I'm like, I'm not gonna lowball. Yeah, we need our money. Because these white girls making money. I done seen some big brand deals.
They are. That's crazy. That's like, you guys seen like all the like stuff going on TikTok with like Alex Earl and Monet. And the difference between their payment and stuff like that. And I think that that's so crazy. But I definitely want to hear from you too, Brittany. What was your first sponsorship deal, and how much was it, if you can remember?
So mine was Shein before Shein was like cool and a thing. The material was horrible back then, but it was $250, and I was so excited. I just wanted the free clothes, to be honest. I was really excited, but one thing I regret, and I would say this, as you guys start getting brand deals, please make sure to screenshot all of your social proof. So for an example, Shein actually used me for a Facebook ad, and in the corporate space, I'm in marketing. So I asked them to send me the back end of those stats for that Facebook ad, just so I can keep for my own portfolio. And I say that because a lot of these brands will be using you for years over and over again, and your content can be blowing up for their audience. You need that proof. That way you can take that and run to another brand and say, this is what I did for Shein, you know? So just try your best to keep those screenshots.
Yeah, and I think that that's super cool because like, do y'all charge extra? I know I do sometimes. It depends on the brand for like exclusivity. Like, you're not about to use my content for 5 years down the line.
Don't charge extra every time. Charge for usage, charge for exclusivity. You want to run ads, you need to pay me. And then brands know that. So they'll try to not pay you for that, but charge for that because they're making money off of the ads. So
y'all teaching me something because I heard something about that the other day. I said, wait, exclusivity, wait.
Yes.
I'll be there for you to be not you getting paid for it.
If you're telling me I can't work with a competitor, that's me missing money. So you need to pay me.
Yeah, I just booked with someone yesterday and they asked me about usage rights. And so here I am like, okay, well maybe I am supposed to be charging extra for that.
Yeah.
Gotta look that up.
Right.
Yeah, I do it by time frame too. So we have like, if you want to use my content for 3 months is this price, for 6 months is this price, a year is this price.
Yeah.
And see, I think I've gotten so used to like YouTube content just always being there that I'm thinking that they would just take it anyway, not realizing that it is my content. I could still be charging for that. So
they can't do that either. If you sign a contract and you know they don't have usage rights, they cannot use your content. But people don't know that.
See.
And these brands not gonna tell you. They just gonna say, "Oh, we're gonna give you this amount of money for your content," and then guess what? They gonna use it and milk it every single possible way.
Every single time.
And they think just because they tag you, they think just because they tag you, it's okay. But it's like now I know.
Right.
I didn't sign up for that.
Definitely. I kind of want us to talk about. I feel like a lot of us here are business owners, and I feel like one of my biggest struggles with being a YouTuber and being a business owner is managing it both. And I definitely want to talk to Paris and Chanel about this, and also you too, Kaylin, and everyone here about like, how do you guys manage your career, business, and also influencing? I feel like that's like the toughest thing. So I definitely want to hear some advice. Or are you not managing it and you just doing the best you can? Let's just talk about it.
I'll be honest, guys. One thing about it, I am just winging it. I feel like when I think, here's the thing, a lot of the times when you're working with hair companies and everything like that, you don't know when that package is going to be delivered. You don't know. It's not like you can make a schedule. Okay, Tuesday, I'm going to do this, that, and the third, unless you have it there with you. But say in the sense you got all your work done for the week and you're just trying to plan for the next week, it's hard. And me and my best friend, we talk about this all the time. She bought me a calendar, with, write down all your tasks and stuff like that. And I feel like I just write my tasks down day by day. So I make sure the night before I have to work, I'm writing down, okay, when I wake up in the morning, I take care of this, I take care of that. And then you have days of the week. Okay, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'll post on YouTube. And then Tuesday and Thursday, I'll post on TikTok. And then if I get any other free time, even if I'm just sitting there, because sometimes, you do have to take time for yourself. I get burnt out very fast and I just feel so defeated. And I'm like, turn all these lights off. I'm going to lay down. I don't have time for this. But even on my phone, I'll find some way to make some type of content on my phone. It's always a way to balance it. But in the midst of it all, I think it's very important that you give yourself a break. You need a mental break. You need to reboot. You need to recharge, because I find that every time I try to juggle everything so fast, I'm like, I got to get this done. I got to get this done. Nothing gets done. So I think it's important to have a balance and just give your mind time to just get your juices back. And you don't never want to, have to do all of your content and stuff like that. Because I know if I'm not feeling up to it, or I'm just tired or whatever, the product is not going to come out the same as if I'm recharged and I'm ready to go. So that's pretty much the advice I could give you guys. I'm just winging it. I'm not going to lie. I'm not super, super organized with it.
I'm kind of suffocating too. And I'm just now coming up for air, to be completely honest, because it's not only juggling, influencing, running a business, creating the content, but it's also life on the side. And then I just got married last year. So now it's like, I got to learn how to be a wife, learn how to be a daughter-in-law, and everything is new all at the same time. So for me, I was struggling. And what I realized was I was putting 110% into my business, but not into my personal life. So what I started doing recently is I started being really strict on myself about systems, not only in my business, but in my life. So I have something where I do every hour, I'm going to tidy up the house, like do little things. For an hour, I might go wash the dishes and start laundry or something. Even if I have to split that hour up into 30-minute increments or 15-minute increments, that way I can like balance it a little bit. Then I have like a structured app that I use on my computer, and I put my personal time on there as well, because for me now it's systematic. I need to take a walk at 2:30, or if I can't make it at 2:30 because I have a call, it's going to be right after the call. I need to make sure that I now eat like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That was something I actually started sharing on my story back in January, because a lot of entrepreneurs, we don't eat. Like we wake up, we get straight to work, and next thing you know, you think it is 10 p.m. and you did not eat a thing, maybe a chip, right? And so that was me. So I started like documenting every time I would eat on my story to kind of help keep myself accountable to do a small thing like eat. But then once I started incorporating kind of like a system into that too, where me and my husband were like, we got to go shopping on Saturdays. And then I'm gonna cook Monday mornings so that we got food in the house. Like we started doing that and started systemizing more things. And that kind of helped a little bit. But then also like Paris just said, taking a break, child. I used to travel and work while I was traveling. I don't do that. If it's not a workation, which I actually need, but if it's not a workation, I'm not working. I'll take all the pictures, record all the content, but I'm not really like focused on showing up during that time. So that's how I balance it kind of. I'm tired though, but yeah.
If it wasn't for bulk filming, I definitely would be like all over the place. Like for instance, yesterday I did a few videos that I bulk filmed. Today I did one, and then after the call, I'm gonna, since I already did the wig video, I'm gonna do the Fashion Nova video. It's just a try on haul. So I think bulk filming definitely helps too, because there's some days you just wake up and you just not feeling it. And like Paris is saying, you don't want to not give your all into the videos, because I used to do that in the beginning. Like, we're just like, okay, well, let's get this done. But at the same time, I didn't feel like doing it. And it shows.
Definitely. So, yeah.
I also want to give a piece of advice too. I just made a video basically talking about how sometimes you have to separate your mind and your body from the action. And what I mean by that is, if I know I have 5 things to do today, right? And my mind is like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. Like, oh my God, I'm so tired. Okay, I'm going to do it this. Okay, I'm going to give myself another 30 minutes, so on and so forth. And you know how it is when you in your bed, it's comfortable. The air is feeling good. You got your blankets on. You like, I'm not getting out of bed. But sometimes I find myself thinking and being lazy for so long that I don't get anything done at all. And now I try to just do it. Like, wake up, and even if I have to get up, put cold water on my face, I don't even want to think about the fact that I'm doing it. If I could just get up and just start sewing or whatever the case may be, eventually my mind and my body will tap into the fact that I'm sewing or whatever. But I found that that's way more productive for me than to actually think about it, because now I'm overthinking. Now I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be late. Now I'm like, oh my God, I'm trying to figure out a way to say this. If you work with a lot of hair companies, you know that their time, they have a whole different time difference. So our bedtime is their morning. So it's just like, okay, now I'm up to 3 a.m. waiting for a reply. I'm just like, okay, if I would have did this earlier, then I would have got it done. But definitely separate your mind and body from the action and just do it subconsciously. You'll figure it out later. You'll figure everything out later, you know?
I was going to piggyback off of Chanel. So I kind of went through a depression, to be honest. I'm a new mom. My son, Mr. President, he's 2, and life changed a lot as a content creator when I have a little one here with me all the time at home. And so 2023, when I was getting out of my depression, I was like, you know what? I am not going to wake up every day with my intention to film content. I'm going to document my days every day. So guys, when I say, and thank you guys who've been like saying how, viral my videos have been going, because everything I do now, I don't care what my hair looks like, if I have makeup on, if my lashes are ugly, my son can be right on my hip, and I'm still going to give you this word because I have a voice and I have something to say. And there are times where I can't afford to sit here in my beautiful space and look really cute and look the part to show you that I have authority. Now I just turn that camera on and I'll be on a one-on-one coaching call with a client. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Don't worry about the background and the fact here, because all I have to give is exactly who I am. So I guess for 2023, guys, don't focus so much on creating content your everyday life. If you're truly working your business like you claim, and if you're truly waking up, you're on a mission and you're getting to the money, if you just document behind the scenes, you'll have more than enough content. The problem is you're actually capping on the internet and your everyday routine doesn't match what you're trying to sell. So you actually don't have any content because you have to get ready to show that you're a business owner instead of just working the business and shooting the camera. Does that make sense?
So, yes, the gym. Okay.
I'm just gonna say, guys, seriously, let's just rebuke like trying to look good and trying to look like the entrepreneur online. Girl, just work the business and turn that camera on.
And I just want to say, I feel like that's a reason that you're always going to succeed, because nowadays people want realistic vlogs. You know, they're talking about the Kylie Jenners and the Kim Kardashians. They're unrelatable nowadays. And that's because we don't wake up with mascara on and stuff. We don't wake up super polished. I wake up with a bonnet on. You know, I don't care about perfection, but I feel like people connect more with realisticness. And I feel like that's why TikTok is such a big platform, because you have Instagram. When you go on Instagram, you know, okay, got to edit my picture, got to make sure I turn up the vibrance, got to make sure they catch a vibe. And then you go on TikTok and you just see people probably in their cornrows. Like, look, y'all, let me tell y'all what happened today. And I guarantee you the girl with the cornrows or the bonnet or whatever the case may be has a more interesting story to tell than somebody who wants to portray an image that's just not realistic. We're all going through things in life. We all don't have time to just be super polished, perfect. Sometimes we just have something to say. And I love the fact that you do that with your son, because that's just like, that's how probably a lot of mothers are feeling right now. Like, okay, please don't cry. I just want to record this video. But you're probably like, look, if he cries a little bit, you see the baby here. You know what's going on. I still got something to say. So I think that's really good that you do that, for sure.
And honestly, the content that you don't think about is usually the content that blows up. The content that you feel like you weren't ready to record or you looked a mess, that's what blows up. Like my biggest videos, I didn't have a house yet. We had to move out of our apartment early. I was in my friend Trisha's living room, literally recorded the intro, couldn't record the rest of the video. Then we switched to our friend George's house. I was a hot mess, but I just said, let me record this video and talk to them about Shopify. And now that video has like 600,000 views or something like that. And the same thing goes for a time when I was depressed after my wedding. I recorded myself driving and venting about everything that happened during my wedding process. And so many people were like, oh my goodness, this is the realest that I've ever like heard you, or the realest I've ever seen you. And so many people connected with that. So I really think it's important for us to not overthink it, just like Brittany was saying, and just to record the content. I know it's hard. It's easier said than done, honestly, because you want things to look a certain way, but the content that blows up is the content that you don't think about.
It's so true. The same thing happened to me too. Like I was out of, I think one of the videos that I had did, I was kind of like out of focus. The lighting was just not right. I'm just like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to post this video. That video right now has 1.9 million views. It has bought me the most in AdSense on YouTube. It's just like, it's crazy how I was not going to post that video. I was going back and forth in my head like, nope, it don't look good. It ain't right. And that was the one that took off. And I know that's the one that carried my channel for a long time. And it still does now.
And that's what I love about YouTube is that your content lives on forever. And it's so much different than when you're on like Instagram and TikTok, because it's videos that I filmed about 2 years ago, how to start a business. And that's 2 years ago content. We know business has changed so much in the past 2 years. And that same video getting 200,000 views still going on to this day, like one of my #1 views that I'm still making money on. That's why I think YouTube is so dope, and it's so much better than a lot of other platforms because you can make continued money. Whereas when you're on Instagram, by the time that reel doesn't get all the way down there, you done lost the traffic, you done lost the engagement. So like the lifespan on YouTube is just so much better. So definitely.
Yeah.
Kayla, we want to talk a little bit about how you manage your 9 to 5 and your influencing.
I was listening to y'all pray. No, I think for me, it is a little bit difficult, but one thing that helps me is I work from home, so I'm a little bit spoiled in that aspect. But I'm a Virgo, so I need a schedule. Like I have to live off of a calendar. I have to live off of like a project management tool. So some of the things I use at work, like Asana, or we use like Monday at work, I use that for my content creation because that's what works for me. And when I have my schedule and I have my routine, it works. Sometimes I fall off because life happens, all types of stuff happens. But for the most part, when I have a schedule, I'm good. So I take it day by day and do the best I can.
Definitely. I really want to talk about this. I was actually watching Paris's video the other day, and I just want to give Paris a round of applause because you've been very open and transparent in your videos, and believe it or not, it's helping so many people because like your story talking about like your relationships and your breakups and your makeups and all the things, like I know it was very hard for you to film that video.
It was.
I know it was very, very hard. So I just want us to talk a little bit about like boundaries and also being vulnerable when it comes to YouTube. And I feel like it's something that I struggle with because it's like, how do I know how to be open and transparent with my audience without sharing too much? And like, how do I know what to share and what not to share? And like, how do I still keep my business as my business? Like, I really want us to dive in and talk about that. So Paris, if you want to start.
Well, what I will say is this, the internet is forever. So whatever you put out on the internet is always going to be there. So the way I think about it is sometimes actually I'm really trying to, okay, let's just be honest. Everybody says you shouldn't care about what people think or, you know, whatever the case may be. But the reality of it is we all do to some extent. And I just feel like at the end of the day, I feel like if my message can just help somebody, I don't care if you know my business or my story. Yes, I put it out there. Yes, some things I do hold inside. But I also do feel like I'm not ashamed of anything I've been through. I'm not ashamed of whatever, even if, you know, somebody wants to say, oh, well, that's why you went through this and that's why you went through that. 9 times out of 10, that person went through something too. I just don't know your business. So I just feel like I do try to still keep some things for me because it's like I still could be sensitive to it, or I might not be able to explain it properly, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But at this point, this very point I'm in my life right now, I just feel like so many people have reached out to me and told me that my story that I didn't want to share in the first place, I just felt like I was at a breaking point and I just turned my camera on and was like, I got a story to tell y'all. And I just feel like the fact that I'm touching so many people and there's so many people going through what I went through, I don't even care anymore. And I know I take my personal days and I'm still helping myself along the way. And the fact that, once again, I feel like I'm helping so many people makes me feel good. And it's also healing me at the same time, to the point where it's like, look, I don't care what you know. I don't care what you heard, because at the end of the day, this is all documented. And a year or two from now, when I'm standing in front of my high rise with the Florida ceiling, you know what they say, it's like, wow. So she was at the bottom, so low, depressed, anxiety, all different types of things. And now she's all the way up here, happy, healed, paid. And it's like, just that story alone is so inspiring for people. It makes people realize that, wow, so I can be going through anything in life right now, and there's still some way out. Because, you know, sometimes we go through things and we just feel so trapped and defeated. Like, can I come out of this? Will I come out of this? How would I come out of this? So I just think it's important to just be transparent and be as open as you want to, because I feel like a lot of people are not as open as I am. You know, I really don't care. It is what it is. But I definitely do feel like you should consider, if put something on the internet, the things that you put on the internet, make sure you understand that it's forever going to be there. And as long as you're okay with that, then that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else want to jump in?
I guess I can only share from my current experience. So I'm just going to talk to the new wives out there. I love what you just mentioned, Paris. And I think another thing is being more wise about how, you know, how the Bible says you have to be disciplined when it comes to like your tongue and the things you say out of your mouth. Yeah. Just please keep in mind, especially during your single days. I mean, if anybody subscribes to me, y'all know I was a city girl out in these streets. Well, my single life. But what I had to remember once I got married is that now I represent someone else and then his family. And that was a lot of pressure. And so in my marriage, we dealt with, I'm going to be who I am and I'm not changing for anyone and I'm going to be authentic. To know, Brittany, sometimes you actually have to keep in mind that you're also representing a last name that you decided to take on. And we all know the responsibility that that comes with. And so now when I'm vlogging, I try my best to make sure I'm keeping in mind, one, am I respecting my husband? But two, am I this little transparent bug that I have, this transparent spirit in me? It's also not just my business. Like now I have a house with someone else, so it's also his business too. So now I just always have to remember, now I have to like double edit because I'm like, oh, taking that joke too far, or like, you know,
right.
house. If it was up to me, I would share it all, honey. But I have to remember that, like, we got to keep it cute. We got to keep it tasteful, right? We got to keep it classy, because another thing is you also don't know who's watching your videos that don't like you, that want your man, that's just waiting for your divorce to happen. And I really had to pray about that. Like, I'm just thinking my subscribers and my supporters are watching, but what about the people that are just waiting for you to just say something wrong?
Yes.
Waiting
Right.
for. And so I really have to like double edit now. And it's not that I'm being fake, right? Or I'm not being who I am, but I have so much to protect. I have this legacy, which is my son. So I'm like, you know what? For the legacy, I'm gonna edit that out. But just know, y'all can see the shade in the vlogs. Y'all can see the shade.
Definitely. I feel like I can agree with that too. Like even though like my content is really like business focused, I feel like I've been very vulnerable and transparent as it relates to like all the business projects that I have going on. Like I even did a whole entire video talking about me closing my online boutique and me relaunching it. And I got a lot of positive feedback. I got a lot of negative feedback, but I'm at the same time, I'm like, I'm the person that got to run the business, but okay, with your negative feedback. But okay, so I definitely can agree with y'all there. Like you really do have to keep it cute, because you don't want anybody coming over and trying to bite you, because you all the time gonna have people who are like preying on your downfall. So you definitely just got to make sure that you are okay with whatever it is that you're putting online. But I love being transparent and open with my audience, especially me as a business coach. I feel like it's just imperative for you to be transparent, just because you're literally helping and navigating somebody else through their journey of, you know, launching their business. So I definitely can attest to that for sure. Kaylin, Key, or Chanel, you guys want to talk about vulnerability or transparency when it comes to YouTube?
Yeah, I think I struggled with that a little bit, because I thought it had to be so business focused at first. And then I realized that I needed to be real and open and transparent. So something that helped me was thinking about it like narrow but deep, right? So think about all the aspects of your life, or I thought about all the aspects of my life, and I thought about, what am I comfortable sharing almost any and anything about? And then what am I comfortable with just sharing surface level things about? So you'll see my husband in vlogs. You'll probably see him on my story, and I'll show him doing something crazy or silly, because that's surface level for us. That's how we act. If you were to come and hang out with us, you would see that. So I don't mind like showing that goofy side, or if he says something silly or says that Starbucks is trash, because it is, or says that. I know how Troyia feel about Starbucks, that's why I said that, but says something like that. Like I'll keep that instead of like cutting that out, because we already have an understanding, like Brittany was saying, but then I also know how I am in real life. And then the things that I decide to go deep about, whether that's about my entrepreneurship journey, or whether that's about another aspect of my life that I feel like will resonate with my audience, I can share almost any and everything about that. Like if I got a chargeback, I could share that story today and tell you all the tea about that. It's not something that I would hide, because it has to do with the one aspect of my life that I decided to go deep on. But it gives people this like sense of connection with, well, it's still connection, but really like a sense of deep connection with you that in reality, like they don't really have, because they still don't know you, but you share enough that they have like relation points with you, and they can kind of consider you like their virtual best friend type of thing.
Gotcha.
I think for me, what's important, I struggle with it a little bit too at the beginning, because I'm just naturally a very private person. Why I got into YouTube with that, I don't know. But I'm certain aspects of my life I don't want to share. But for me, when I started being a lot more authentic, since I was blogging about what was really going on in my life and some of the challenges that I was facing, I realized that's when my audience grew and when my engagement grew. So for me, my rule is kind of to share things when I've healed from them a bit, not completely, because I do think you need to have that authenticity. Oh my goodness, you need to have that there. Like I've cried on camera and done stuff like and talked about different things, but I think when I've healed from it a bit, I feel comfortable talking about it because YouTube is like my diary. And so it's a way for me to express myself, get my feelings out. And I do like helping out my community because somebody could be going through the same things that you go through. So I think you can kind of tell when you want to talk about something or when you're comfortable sharing with something. It's kind of like a gut feeling. So
and I just want to respond to, all of you guys, some of us are more willing to share more and some of us are like a little bit more closed off. And there's such a gray area in between, because I also do want to say, like I said, you do have to be careful what you share, and off of the, internet cousins and sisters thing, I have that going on. They're like, oh my God, I feel like you're like my sister, my cousin, and everything is cool. And although that does flatter me, I literally just had a situation where somebody commented on my photo and was like, if you take that man back, we will dog walk you. And I'm like, go on my story and get a little Brooklyn, like, look, you don't know me. I know you watch my videos and all that, but you don't know me, relax. So it's just like, although I'm pretty sure we can all agree that we love the fact that we can connect with you guys and y'all feel so, we feel so relatable to you guys, y'all also have to understand that there's a respect level. And although it can seem like, you're watching us through a screen and it feels so real, we're also talking to a camera too. So it's just like the reality of it is we're still people and we still demand respect as well. So as much as we love to give you guys advice and, everything, so on and so forth, just always to remember to be mindful of what they may be going through and the fact that they're living a real life and they're a real person with real feelings as well. So respect is definitely like a non-negotiable. So I just wanted to put that out there because people get a little bit too connected to your life and feel like they know you. And it's like, hold on now. You don't know me like that.
It's crazy that you say that. I forget. Oh, I remember where I was. I went to Magic. If y'all don't know what Magic is, it's like the big wholesale trade show that all the fashion vendors are at. And that was my first time going to Magic since my channel blew up. And it was kind of overwhelming for me because people were like coming up to me like, hey, Troyia, like, oh my gosh, like, I'm pretty sure you guys get encounters like, you might be at the grocery store somewhere and somebody recognizes you. It honestly is so crazy because you will literally forget that you have a YouTube channel and that you have an online presence until somebody notices you. And then they literally are talking to you like they have known you your whole entire life. And sometimes I'm just like, whoa, like I'm a very private person too. Just like listen, very, very, very private. Only what I want to share is only what you get. And sometimes it can definitely be overwhelming for the actual influencer themselves as well. So definitely. All right, y'all, let's get into some Q&A. It is almost 8, so let's hop right on into it. So we have our first question here from Tay Sharif, and let's answer it live. You would like to answer this question live. I don't know what I just clicked on. Hopefully, I don't know if it took her off of mute or what, but her question says, what are some ways to find different video ideas when it seems like your life is not active enough for what's popular, which are vlogs? That's a pretty good question.
Well, I would say what helps me usually is I just look at the videos of people that I like to watch. And I kind of just find ideas from there. We also have TikTok where they have full pages dedicated to content ideas and stuff like that. I feel like you should. And I also heard ChatGPT. I know only I know about it, but the ChatGPT, I'm pretty sure if you type in, a certain type of content in a certain niche, certain areas, they'll be able to help you as well. Y'all, it's hard, but sometimes you got to just look at your peers or look at the people you admire. You're like, you know what? I can relate to that. That's realistic for me. So let me go on and recreate that.
Anyone else? What are some different ways to find different content video ideas when it seems like your life isn't active enough for what's popular, such as vlogs? I'll kind of throw in an answer here.
Oh.
Go ahead, Chanel.
Oh no, I was saying I brain dumped them. So I was section it based off of what's going on in my life, what's going on in the world, and what's going on in business. And then I just brain dump whatever it is that's going on. So if my business somehow connects to Coachella, I'll write that down because that's going on in the world and I know my audience would care about it. But I pretty much brain dump it. And then I think about how can I provide value, whether it's like helpful, insightful, just like a real-time view of something. And then that's kind of like what I do. And then sometimes I also research as well to see what people are searching for. I use Google Trends a lot. I also use TubeBuddy. So yeah.
Another good site too, on top of the ones that Chanel just mentioned, Answer the Public is a really good one. So if you go on there and you type in any keyword, they'll give you literally everything that people have been searching on Google, on YouTube as it relates to that topic. So if you type in like Skims fashion, or if you type in Sephora beauty haul, it'll give you like a whole bunch of like different types of video ideas or anything that people have been searching in order to go through and find it. So Answer the Public is another really good one too. Our next question is, what's the fastest can someone get monetized if they put in the work? Fastest way to get monetized.
I feel like
It's different now.
yeah, it is. I think the
When I started, it
requirements
was
go up
different.
and down.
Yeah.
I don't know, y'all.
About the
I
fast.
just say be consistent. I don't know.
I would say the fastest way, I don't know, a lot of people don't realize that YouTube is a search engine. So because it's connected to Google, whatever people are searching, it comes higher up in the search ring. So for me, I think I got monetized in like 3 months, but back in 2017, it was, I think the requirement was you had to get 10,000 views.
Yeah.
So they didn't care about the subscribers and all of that. So I don't even remember how many subscribers I had by the time I was monetized. But a lot of people are just posting a lot of content that people are not searching for. So if you're posting something that people are actually searching for, like for me, like I said, I started doing my hair. So I'm titling my videos, how to crochet, how to do braidless crochet, because I'm a part of Struggle Braiding University. Your girl can't braid for nothing. So I started doing this thing called braidless crochet. And I mean, it literally, that was something that a lot of people like, oh my God, I've never seen it done like this. So because of that, it was ranking higher in the search engine, and that's what made my channel grow faster. I think, Troyia, you talk about how, I think I had seen you post a reel on Instagram, and it was pretty much like talking about that, like the how-tos or just adding value to a subject or a topic that's already being searched, that helps. So even if you are going to do the vlogs or you doing travel or whatever the case may be, adding those in there too, what people are actually searching, it's definitely going to take your channel to the next level.
Yeah, you definitely got to make sure you're doing some searchable content. Like that's exactly what the reel was about. It's like no one knows who you are, so they don't really care to watch your vlogs. So stop posting so many vlogs.
Right.
Start creating content that people are going to search, because if I don't know who you are, I do not care what you did on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I want to know what you can help me with and how fast you can help me with it. And that's what I'm looking for. I don't care who you are. I'm not watching your vlog until I know who you are. And then once I get to know you based upon what you can help me with, then I want to know who you are. And that's when I care about what you do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But other than that, I do not care.
I feel like a lot of people say, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, a lot of people don't know that you don't grow from vlogs. Like we see our favorite YouTubers doing vlogs, but we're already invested into them. So that's why we care. So vlogging that's not going to be the thing to grow your channel. It's fun. It's great. I love it, but it's going to be those searchable videos, kind of like y'all said. So
yeah, vlogs are for your super fans pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Unless you're incorporating some type of searchable topic in the vlog, or
you're
centering it around that, because it can be done depending on what you're talking about. Like if you're traveling, for instance, say you want to help people find cheap flights, that's the way that you can kind of incorporate how to travel internationally under $500 or whatever the case may be. That's something that somebody will actually search or want to see, and then you don't slip in the vlog from your trip with that video. You know what I'm saying? So
definitely. Another question says, what camera and equipment do you guys use? Come here.
I started using my iPhone, to be honest with y'all. I was using my iPhone for like 2 years almost. But now I'm using Canon. Oh, it's one of the Canons. I think it's I don't forget which one it is, but I'm using a Canon.
I have 2 cameras. So I have the Sony ZV-1 for vlogging, and then I have the Canon M50 for my sit down videos. But I like cameras. So that's something I've always had. I've always invested in. But you don't need a camera to start off at all. You can do it on your iPhone, your Samsung, whatever you have. Like you don't have to have a camera, but I like cameras, so.
For me, I started off with a Sony A5100. Yeah, a Sony A5100 and a ring light. And I'm so happy that you said you do not need a camera and all this extra stuff. You definitely need good lighting. So if you're going to invest in one over the other first, get your light together, because that's very important. But yeah, I started off with that. Now I have the same, a ring light as well. I'm using a Canon EOS Rebel SL2.
That's the
I
one.
have one of those. I have a DSLR camera for my sit down videos. I'm not gonna lie, I don't use my Sony anymore, so I use the big camera for vlogging. Which, yes, I know I need a new one. I was looking at the TV one as well. I also have box lights, but I am trying to get into the I forgot what type of lights you call them, but I know it's like one light and then you can flip it open and close it as you please. I am looking into new lighting, but definitely, guys, get y'all a good ring light, nice little tripod, decent setup. You're good. You're absolutely good, for sure.
Definitely. The camera that I use now is the Sony ZV-E10. So I use that one now. And then my backup camera is the Sony, the Canon G7X Mark II is my like little throw in my bag type of camera when I don't feel like dealing with a lens and all of that stuff. So you definitely can start with an iPhone. When I first started with my FAMU college videos, I started with my iPhone. And then after that, I used my refund check, honey, and got me a camera that I barely okay. So yeah, you can definitely start with your phone. Do not be afraid to start with your phone. You already have the iMovie app on your phone too. I know now I use, what editing softwares do you guys use? I use Final Cut. Anybody else use iMovie, or what kind of software do you guys use?
So I use Final Cut now, but I started off with iMovie on my phone, like how you're saying. It's already there, either that or I have a MacBook as well that's already programmed in and it's free. So
yeah.
I use Adobe Premiere Pro and Adobe Premiere Pro Rush. I really use Rush more than anything because it's easy. And then my editor uses Premiere Pro.
I heard that was really good too.
Yeah, and you can have it on your phone too. I think it's free now for your phone. They stopped charging for it, I think. So if you want like a dope app on your phone, and they also do the dimensions for TikToks and stuff too on there.
Yeah.
I definitely started off using iMovie as well. I feel like it's so easy. And then I upgraded to Final Cut. I want to say maybe 3 years ago, but I'm not going to lie. Of course, everybody knows if you use Final Cut, you have to pay $300. And it was just so complicated to learn. So I didn't really learn how to use Final Cut until about 2 years later. I was just like, I'm gonna stick to iMovie. But I still kind of go in between both. Like if the video is pretty straightforward, I don't need too much transitions or plugins or anything, I'll go right to iMovie. I feel like I edit on iMovie a little faster. And if I want to really catch your attention, I'm gonna go on Final Cut, put them effects and, so on and so forth. But definitely use iMovie to start off. And then here's my advice too as well. If you don't want to pay the $300 for the Final Cut Pro, you can also just use the iMovie, go on Canva, and then create your own graphics and stuff. Put it on green, put everything over a green background. Go right to iMovie, put the graphic over your timeline, and then just click, I think it's green blue or something like that, and it's gonna overlay over the video. And it's kind of like your own way of cheating the system. Like I'm not gonna pay for the extra graphics. I created it. Does take a while, but Canva will definitely be your best friend if you want to, turn it up a notch on iMovie.
And don't sleep on Canva either.
Please don't.
Oh yeah.
Please you can edit videos on Canva now. I feel like they update something every other month. There's so much, that you can do.
Since we're talking about editing, I just want to throw this in there because I'm starting to see like a lot of people trying to use like the popular music when they're editing their videos, and like they'll slow it down or use like a remix. Y'all don't do that. You're going to get copyright striked. They may not find it now, but a year from now, you won't be able to be monetized because of that. And I see a lot of people trying to do that. It's okay to get like, just the instrumentals that just play in the background of your videos. One of the sites that I get my music from is Epidemic Sound. And you do have to pay for a membership, but that way, that it's already covered. The bases are already covered. You don't have to worry about copyright. You don't have to worry about your videos being unmonetized because that's going to be
I'm happy you said that too. I'm really happy you said that. I was using Epidemic Sounds as well. I'm not gonna lie though. I was like, when I watch vlogs and they have the little remixes and stuff, I'm like, ooh, I like that. It's keeping my attention.
Until you get hit.
So it's just like here's the way I do. I usually get my mixes and stuff from SoundCloud because I like to just give it like a a little taste. But what I'll do is usually I have an ear for it. But if you're like a beginner friend, because you'll know if the lyrics and the music is too clear, just literally over a different beat, you're gonna get copywritten. If it's kind of like blended or slowed or something like that, it's really kind of subjective in a way. But if you use the music and then upload it without publishing it first, it'll let you know 9 times out of 10 if you'll be able to monetize or not. But definitely play it safe and use Epidemic Sounds, because one thing people type in is no copyright music, and that most likely is the music you're going to get copyrighted for. So you got to be careful, guys. But I know y'all want a lot. And as far as like finding SoundCloud music, because I used to watch vlogs for years and I'm like, where are they finding these mixes from? Like, do I need to find somebody's YouTube channel or whatever? It took a very long time for me to find it. Don't ask me how I found it. It just popped up one day and I was like, oh, okay, related. Okay, related. It's really hard, but definitely play it safe and use Epidemic Sounds. I feel like it's definitely worth it for sure.
It is.
Yeah, I use both too. So I like remixes, and I use Epidemic Sounds as well. So what I do for remixes is I usually put in the artist and put in lo-fi. So I'll put in like Drake lo-fi, SZA lo-fi. And then I know it's a lot of work to do the remixes, but I like it. It's okay.
Right.
I'll upload my video like Paris said and test it. And then when I know it works, I usually reuse the sound, but kind of switch it up. Like I know it's already cleared, it's not copyrighted. So I'll just use it in another video. And then I use Epidemic Sounds as well, just to switch it up. Because when you do get copyrighted, it is annoying. But I mean, I like remixes.
And you don't want one of your popular videos to start going viral, and then here it is, you ain't getting paid for it.
Oh, that hurt.
You have to mute it.
Like I just looked up, and there's a video I posted 2 years ago. They just hit me with this user said you're using their music. I'm like, but I posted this 2 years ago. I thought it was good, but nope, it's not. So just to be on the safe side, since I know it's a lot of people in here that is trying to get started and to grow the channel, just use the music that you already know is going to be safe. You're in a contract with Epidemic Sound, you're good to go.
And you can play, you don't want to be in a position where you're going to have to like be kind of desperate and use one of the YouTube songs because you're like, I need this to be monetized. You got some elevated music over you at a party dancing and stuff.
Or it may be muted because a few of my videos are muted because
I've done that. I don't have time.
I know people probably watching like, what is going on? Just watching.
I uploaded a video 5 times and changed the music 5 times. After that last time I got copyrighted, the last time I said, F this. Oh, we are going through, we are making out the whole thing. No.
And I also wanted to add it too. I just thought of this. Another vital piece of I was about to say information, equipment that I feel like everybody should have is the Lacy hard drive or a hard drive. A lot of the times we have MacBooks and they say you get all these gigs in memory, but as soon as you download a video or a picture, whatever, now you don't got no space for nothing. And I feel like that Lacy hard drive has been one of my best investments. And just to save you guys as well, if you edit in a bed like me sometimes, or you move around a lot when you edit, and maybe you use Final Cut, which let me tell y'all something, there's nothing worse than having your hard drive plugged up and you're editing a video and you move and it comes out and now your whole movie disappears. That has happened to me so many times to the point where I re-edited a whole hour plus long video 8 times in a row. I'm like, I'm going to get this up. So guys, please get you a hard drive, upload the footage to your computer, and then do so on and so forth. But I think a hard drive is like one of the best investments you could get, as far as, and as well as the Apple, their extra little stuff that they got going on, which I'll pay for it. Sometimes it's dumb, but I'm gonna pay for the little extra pieces you stick in your computer and stuff like that.
Yes, and get the hard drive, like she said. You don't want to be stuck in a position to where you're editing a video or you have content on your computer and it crashed like me. And I would never forget that day. Like they say you do have all this memory, and even though you're deleting it, some type of way, there's some type of stored memory in the background of the computer devices. So, I mean, crash, lost everything.
Everything is gone.
Yeah, a $1,300 computer that you think is supposed to last forever and it's gone.
Our next question, she is asking, how do you find your niche And like, how do you know what type of niche to actually go through and have on your YouTube channel? And do you need to niche?
So I noticed when you niche down, like you guys were mentioning earlier about the how-to videos, I think that's one of the fastest ways to grow your channel. Like you have to be known for something. I noticed that a lot of new YouTubers, and I say this, which are like my homegirls, when they actually watch their videos, they're trying to talk a lot about a lot. So I always have to ask them, like, girl, what do you know a lot about? And just talk about that first, because I think they try to be like a relationship expert, and then they do hair, and then they do fashion, then they're in school, and now they have a business, and it's all over the place.
Yeah.
So always ask, like, try to stick to 3 things. Like, what do you embody? So for me, it's like marriage, motherhood, and marketing. I only have 3 things for you. I only have 3 topics, and I can only speak about what I know. I can't go into makeup. I can't go into hair. I can't even go into fashion because I'm an Old Navy girl. I love Ross and that's my thing. So I don't even try to touch it. Just figure out, like, seriously, what's your thing?
I would say your niche, it should just be you. And kind of picking back off of what Brittany said, just choose things that you like to do and create content based upon those things. And I think the thing is where people get stuck at is you want to create an audience that's going to come back to you again and again and again for the type of content that you create. But if you're all over the place creating content, I'm never going to go back to you again because the thing that I love from you, you don't even do anymore. So if I came to you and I really fell in love with one of your hair videos, and then the next day you're talking about relationship stuff and now you're a relationship podcaster, like I don't even know where to put you inside of my YouTube family type of category. So definitely I agree with Brittany too. Choose 3 different areas within yourself that you want to talk about, but still kind of find a way to plug all of them in together. So mine usually is fashion because I'm a fashian business owner. So you're going to hear about fashion as it relates to business, and then fashion as it relates to style. You might see me do my hair because that has a lot to do with, me presenting myself or anything like that. And then of course you're going to get some business stuff inside of it too. So definitely. Anyone else want to piggyback off of that?
But you know what it is? Oh, sorry. It's
No, go ahead.
People get hung up on being a lifestyle creator or like a lifestyle influencer. And so when they think lifestyle, they think that they have to talk about every aspect of their life. Your life has so many details in it that people will just be lost. They're not going to connect with you in any type of way. So I think like Troyia and like Brittany already said, is focusing on those things and knowing what you can go deep about and knowing the other points that you're going to share. And as you start to create content and you start to cultivate a community, then is when you can get a little bit more relaxed and they'll tap into your lifestyle a little bit, where if you share what you're eating or whatnot, they may be interested, but I would never make a full video about what I'm eating, but I could post a story about it, right? And so people can respond to it and say, oh, I love it. What's that smoothie recipe? All the things. Or I can incorporate something like that into a vlog where I'm doing something for the business that I'm working on or something like that. So it's important to not just take lifestyle and run with it as if it's everything, but instead have your core parts of your life and then build your community around that style. I think that's how lifestyle should be broken down.
And I also want to add on to what you just said. Guys, y'all have to understand people can sense phony from the first 2 seconds. Be yourself. I can't stress this enough. Just because your favorite YouTuber does lifestyle vlogs and shops at Lululemon and gets all these fancy cups and all different types of Pilates, if you don't do that, we will know. We will know, and it's not authentic to your audience. Do what you love to do. And if you're someone, because I feel like a lot of people have a talent, or I don't know what I would possibly make videos about, or whatever the case may be. I feel like everyone has something that they know more information about than the average person. And I feel like you should just kind of go off that. And if you do want to learn a little bit more about makeup and hair and so on and so forth, please do your research, because sorry to curse, but if you're half-assing it, it's not going to grow. You're not going to get anywhere with it. And I've seen too many people pull the, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And it's just like, girl, please. Like, it's just not it, guys. it's just really important to stay true to yourself. And I feel like that's when you show the best version of yourself. And that's when it makes people want to watch you, when they feel like you're being you and not trying to be someone else.
Definitely. What was I about to ask you guys? Someone asked, how do you know how much to charge for sponsored videos? I feel like this is a really tricky question. So I'm really interested to see, how do you know how much to charge? Because I'll kind of start, and then maybe you guys can definitely jump into it. I've heard it numerous amount of ways. Of course, everyone says charge what you're worth, but what does that even mean, right? Like, how do you even know how to determine a price tag based upon how much you are actually worth when it comes to your content? Because I could start off the bat and think I'm the flyest thing out here, and I'm just starting my channel. I got 5 subscribers, and I hit up a brand and tell them I'm charging $5,000 for one non-dedicated video, 30-second integration. Boom, I want $5,000. Y'all said charge what I'm worth, right? So I think it's really important to really reevaluate what that actually means and charge also based upon your analytics too. So I've heard it numerous ways. I've heard a lot of people say charge 10% of your following, which I've heard is a good thing to do and also a bad thing to do. It's fair talking
percentages.
That's a lot of money. It's not a large following, but for me personally, what I like to do is I charge what is like 5% of my following, and then I add on anything additional. So if you want usage rights, if you want inclusivity, how long do you need me to use it? If you have a tight deadline, because a lot of these brands want content the next day, the next week. And I'm like, listen, I can't do that. I got other videos that I need to go ahead and film. I'm managing a whole business out here, sir. So I can't go through and get you the video in 3 days. I can't. So if you want it in a fast enough time frame, those are other things that you can go through and add on. One of my number one pieces of advice is don't create a rate card. Literally just go through and kind of have an idea or a gauge as to what you're going to go through and charge, because you don't want to charge the same thing to every single brand. Because if Fashion Nova reach out to me, you better believe I'm going to try to milk them dry. Whereas if it's a small boutique reach out to me, I'm probably going to be a little bit more delicate with the prices that I might go through and have. So how do you guys kind of determine your pricing?
If I'm not mistaken, there was I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
There's like a website or app or something where you put I can't remember the name of it. I just looked at my phone to try to see if I could find it. But you would plug your social media platform in, and from there it'd pull the analytics from the engagement. Because a lot of people just be like, oh, I got this many subscribers, whatever. But like we were saying too, engagement is key. And so it'd pull your analytics and it'll tell you how much you can charge per a certain thing. Can't remember the name of it. I'm gonna try to find it before we get off.
I was gonna say from a industry perspective, so industry standard is low key a little low. So industry standard from what I know is $100 per 10,000 followers. So like if you have 10,000 followers, your content would be $100. But for me, it's like if I'm doing a reel, $100, that's not enough money for a reel, even though I have like 8,000 followers or whatever. So you can use that as a base, but kind of think about how much work you're putting into the content. So if it's a dedicated YouTube video, no, $100 is not enough, but you can use that as a base and kind of go from there. And then it's kind of a hard thing, but you can use that as a base and go from there, and then think about what the company is, kind of like what Troyia said. So if it's a bigger brand, ask them for more money because they got it. But if it's like a smaller business, be sure to negotiate with them and kind of work with them, because they're probably not going to have as big of a budget. So you can use that for a base and then just base it off of what content you're creating. Because that standard is crazy to me.
The way that we do it, because I work with someone as an influencer manager, the way that we do it is we treat our rates as bare minimums. It's not necessarily the rate that we give to them. We still ask for budget, like Troyia said earlier, but we have like a bare minimum, and that's based off of analytics, but then we also tailor it to the brand. So if the brand fits into my lifestyle or into like what I already do and what I already like sell for them, then we're going to charge more. For example, if Canva was to reach out to me and want a video, I am charging top dollar because I scream Canva every day, all day. So it makes sense for you to pay me more, because even after this 1 or 2 videos are posted about you, I continue to talk about you, and my community is going to catch on to that. And people who may not have converted on the first video because I mentioned it in the 10th video that you didn't sponsor, you now have money off of me, and that link that you gave me to direct traffic is still active, right? And so we started doing that recently. And then we do the budget thing too. So I forgot what my rate is right now, like the bare minimum, but Amazon reached out to us back in January and they were like, oh, they wanted to pay me, I think it was 3,000. And literally my influencer manager was like, nope, we want 15. And we settled on 12. But that's because we asked the budget question. And then also we thought about how Amazon already fit into my life and the fact that I use them every single day. And we knew what that could convert to, because Amazon is also a brand that's huge and people know about. So it's going to be easier for somebody to be like, oh yeah, let me click the link and let me sign up because, you know, it's known. So I don't know if that helped, but that's like a little bit like, think about how it intertwines into your life as well, but also treat your rates as like bare minimums, what you would accept.
Yeah. And then just be sure to negotiate. Do not be scared to negotiate, because most of the time brands are coming at you with a lower number anyway. So just be sure you come back with them and say like, no, my rate is this. Let's talk about it. Can we meet in the middle or whatever? So
I have a question. Before we move on to the next question, I just want to join the chat for a second and ask a question. First of all of you ladies are literally helping me so much, because I feel like I kind of get stuck on what to charge and, you know, so on and so forth. But my question is, what's your advice to, I guess you can say, an established YouTuber, whatever that means, whose engagement isn't what it used to be? So me, for example, I feel like I started off very strong, so many thousands of likes, you know, so on and so forth. And I feel like I got lost in the hair sponsorships. And I feel like that,
girl, you better come
my
on
channel straight down. And it's
You
just
gotta
like,
come on now.
if you watch my hair videos now, you can tell I don't want to do it, but they paid me for it, so I'm gonna just do it. And it's just like, I'm kind of jumping. Of course, you know, life happens too as well, but I'm really big on holding myself accountable and separating, you know, your regular life from work and stuff like that. But basically my question is, what's your advice to someone who wants to rebuild their engagement, or I guess in other words, just boost their engagement a lot? Because I feel like I'm like, am I shadow banned? Like, what is going on? I know my video was good, but I feel like I'm probably not even showing up in the algorithm either. So I want a piece of everything y'all got to say. What's some advice that you guys can provide me with?
I'm pretty
I
much
feel
going
like I
through
kind
the
of
same
struggle
thing.
with. Go ahead, Key. Go ahead, Key.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I feel like I kind of struggled with this too, because I feel like I grew my channel a lot during the pandemic and everybody was searching business videos. And for some reason, I guess a lot of people ain't really trying to start businesses how they were during the pandemic, because we don't got them good stimulus checks no more. Okay. So what I've noticed is me going back and creating the same videos that did good and just recreating them, but creating them with the new flair as to what's going on today. So like my most popular videos was like how to start a boutique, how to do this, how to do that. So now me going back and recreating them again, but with my new flair, my new sauce on it as to the things that are trending now in this like new world of social media and business, kind of just goes through and puts those same people back into like my whole ecosystem and also my same bubble. So that would be like my number one piece of advice. And then also just creating more of like your omni-channel presence, being on all social media platforms and using all of those social media platforms to promote those same videos too. So kind of just going back and seeing what was popular that you created and just doing it all over again.
I was just about to say that. It's because of I'm going through the same thing with my videos, but it's funny because when I will go through my analytics, I'll see that videos that I recorded 2 years ago, 3 years ago are doing way better than the ones that I'm doing now. So obviously those are the ones that are ranking higher in the algorithm on YouTube. So now I'm trying to strategically go through and make sure that I'm adding those in along with all the other ones that I'm doing, because when it all boils down to it, somebody followed you for a certain reason. And then once we get to the point where we're changing the content or we're going in a different direction, it's showing that you have, like, for instance, for me, I have 111,000 subscribers, but it's showing that not even half of them are engaged. So we're going to push you down the algorithm. I'm going through the same thing, girl. That's why I'm like,
Hard.
Like the algorithm is just, it's algorithm right now. Like, it is literally not pushing content the way that it used to. Like, and so for me, I try to do tactical things in addition to what Troyia and Key said. I look at my videos and see what's performing, the old videos that are outranking those new videos. I go in and I edit the end screen and I link it to my new videos. But then I also started doing call to actions in my videos just for the engagement. So I'll say, like, comment down below if you made it to the end of the video, a certain word, or I'll stop in the middle of the video or before I start the video and say, comment down below, do something. And that will usually like have a whole bunch of people in the comments actually engaging and sharing some piece of something that I asked them for, which then will boost my video a little bit. And then it also helps on the brand aspect because they're just looking at the overall engagement anyway. So the fact that people are actually doing what I said to do actually helps them because I had a call to action and then they did the call to action. So that's what I do. But we all struggling because YouTube is tripping right now.
I don't know what's
pushing the shorts.
Yeah.
Pushing the shorts for sure.
They need to stop trying to be TikTok. Just be YouTube.
Yeah, that's what I
Be
said. I'm
you.
like, TikTok got them scared. Everybody.
But then TikTok has 10-minute videos too now, though.
Mhm.
I don't got it on my profile, but I heard that's what they doing out here. So
And then they have pictures too on TikTok. Now it's like little
all the
carousel
slides,
pictures.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh.
So
But I was also going to mention, this is actually how I started my business. So I have been dying to get this play button for years. And during my little depression, I literally gave it up. I was like, you know what, God, you got it. Don't even give me a play button anymore. I'm just going to leave it alone and leave it in your hands. And one thing I think, and I don't know who needs to hear this in this chat, but God might be telling you to be grateful for the community you have. Let's just say you only have 10,000 subscribers and you're dying to get that play button. Could you even serve 10,000 people? Could you walk in a room and talk to 10,000 people? Can 10 people from YouTube say hi to you without you getting social anxiety? So now I just focus on my little community. Lord, just give me the people and I'm going to serve them. And if he sees fit, okay, it'll come. But if not, I'm just going to stop comparing myself to other people, because the beauty of it is, let's just say 1,000 people watch my video. We know that's low, but can you imagine if 1,000 people booked a one-on-one coaching call, or 1,000 people bought something from my online business? Like, I think sometimes we compare so much. We think these numbers are small, but they're
really huge.
Yeah.
Really
For
big,
sure.
right?
For sure.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's the word.
That's really, really crazy. And I want to actually kind of ask Key, Paris, and Danielle, because I know you guys are over 100K. Like, how do you feel when you did get your play button, and like how do you feel now that because I know we've just talked about, you know, our engagement is just a little bit more down. How do you guys feel when you first got it compared to like how do you feel now?
I mean, well, I'll be honest with y'all. I was striving for a very long time as far as like for yes, I wanted the play button, but I was really focused on just the accolade, just the number. It just looked cute up there. But when I first got it, I'm not gonna lie, I went all out. I did a photo shoot with the money, the 100K. I did the whole thing. I was so proud of myself. And I'm still very proud of myself. I try to give myself more credit and stop trying to, like, you know, but now more so, it just made me feel like you did it once, you can do it again. And I also understand that my drive then is different than my drive now. And my drive is in a whole different kind of direction. So I feel like once I really find my love back for creating content, and especially creating content for YouTube, then I feel like I'll be exactly where I want to be. But I do know I have to put that work in. So once again, I am very appreciative. You know, I love my button. I'm gonna hang it up soon, one of these days. But until then, I'm like, I don't even want to be too content on the 100K, because what's the next milestone? So I'm already here with it.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. All right, let me ask probably 2 more questions and then we gonna wrap it up for the night. Our next question, let me scroll all the way up. Someone asked, do you edit your own videos or do you have a video editor?
I edit
all my videos.
I haven't edited, unfortunately.
I edit all my videos.
Ain't no editor around here.
I got an editor. Well, I do. It's half and half, kind of. Yeah. So my editor edits sit down videos. I edit vlogs now, but I started off editing my own videos.
Chanel, is there like what's a good estimate to pay an editor?
Yeah.
Oh, child. Okay, so my first editor, I only paid him $40 a video, but he was also not in America. I mean, my editor now is not in America. He was in Jamaica, and pretty much I went on this website called, what is it called?
I know.
Hold on. Let me get my pen out and stuff.
Hold on. I'm gonna find it right here for y'all. Hold on. It's called HubSpot Talent. HubStaff Talent. That's what it's called. HubStaff. So HUB STAFF talent. Not Fiverr. I hate Fiverr. But I use Hubstaff.
How spell it again?
HUBSTAFF talent.
Talent. Okay, got you.
Yeah, I use that in Upwork, but I used Upwork for my recent editor, not for the beginning stages. The beginning stages, when I wanted someone a little bit more budget friendly, that's what I did. My editor now, she has like a monthly total, and it kind of pushes me to bulk create. So I pay her as if we've created 8 sit-down videos and 4 shorts a week or something like that. And whatever we don't use gets rolled over, but the goal is to not have it roll over because I got to pay her that amount anyway, whether or not I record the video. But we got to that point after working with her since like June, pretty much. But at first, I want to say she was like hourly, and it would estimated like 125, 150 a video. But I was like, oh girl, we got to get to a flat amount so that way I could pay you. But no, Hubstaff got some good people on there that they'll charge like per video $40, which is really good.
How do you go about like trusting people? I feel like that's why I don't never have help with anything, because I'm like, I don't know. I don't really be trusting people to like work on certain things. So how did you create that type of energy? Like, how do you trust these people?
I don't fully trust them. However, you can't 100% trust anybody with your business, because I made a mistake of doing that once and it bit me in the butt. However, I try to think about it like you're an expert in your own space. So I'll trust you with that space. So if you're a video editor, I trust you 100% with the video editing content, but it's more so remembering that I'm not on this world like by myself, and God put certain people on this planet to be able to help me out. And the more I try to do stuff myself, I'm going to run myself into the ground, and I limit the success that I can reach versus me building a team, helping them put money in their pocket, food on the table for their families, while we're working together to actually build this business that then impacts our clients and customers as well. So I try to think about it like that. And honestly, like if you have a certain amount that you make every month and you have to set a budget per position, and you know, you got to get somebody that's not maybe top tier, they're mid tier right now. That way you could push through and then make more money to get the top tier person. I would do that because it's going to free up so much of your time to be able to do other things that will then help you grow your business. My best time, like, and when I was like my biggest or my most successful year, I had like 8 or 9 people on my team, and I was paying people healthy. And that was our biggest like months, our $45,000 months, all of those things. But I had a team. Like, so that's what I would say. Yeah.
What's your usual turnaround time for an editor?
She edits really fast. However, we're trying to get into the state of like not running a rat race. So now I bulk record my full month of content at least 2 weeks before the month starts. But if she needed to, she could turn around a video in like 48 hours.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Another question we had is, how do you know when it's time to hire a influencer manager? So I can start, and I'm not sure whoever else has managers inside of here, but I just hired a manager probably like a month or 2 ago. And the reason why I hired one was just because I have several other businesses, and literally I just cannot do the back and forth with the brands for the sponsorships. Like, it literally takes so long before you even actually film the video sometimes. So like going through the negotiating, trying to figure out, you know, the terms, trying to figure out deliverables and talking points and all of that stuff. So that's the reason why I hired one, just so that way I don't have to go through and do the back and forth in the communication. But I would say, you know, when you should hire one is when you get way too busy in order to actually go through and manage your deals. It was at one point, y'all, I literally stopped responding to people for brand deals because I didn't have the time to go through and communicate back and forth with them via email. So that's money that I'm missing out on because I don't have the time to actually sit here and communicate back and forth with people. I feel like when you're first starting, enjoy going through and communicating back and forth with brands, just so that way you can kind of get that experience and, you know exactly what to do. Because when it is time for you to hire a manager, you're not even going to know what to hire the manager for. You're not even going to know what to look for in a manager if you don't have the experience yet. So anybody else have advice on that?
I don't have advice, but I do have a question. where do you find a manager? Because I want to hire a manager, and I see someone ask how much are managers, so I guess we could probably answer that after. But where do you even look to find a manager, and how do you know who's best fit for you? Like, how do you go through the recruitment process?
So I found my manager on Instagram. So I was in desperate need for a manager, and I need somebody Black because I need somebody who speaks my language, and I need somebody who understands the type of business that I have and also the type of content that I create. So I went on Instagram. I literally just typed in. It took me like a few days to like kind of narrow it down. But I went on Instagram. I did hashtag influencer manager, like all the different types of hashtags that you can probably think of in order to search. I searched on Instagram, and then I also searched on TikTok too. So that's kind of how I stumbled upon my manager, and I made sure that she worked with people who create the same type of content that I create. So you don't want to go through and get a manager that specializes with travel influencers and you're a hair blogger, or, Key, for example, she could do that because she does both of them. So it would make sense for her. But you want to make sure that you go through and you find a manager that focuses in on the type of content that you create. So that way you can go through and she already has a bulk of brands contacts that she can just send to you. So I don't have to worry about getting all of these deals. I don't have to worry about pitching too, because she pitches for me too. So I don't have to pitch brands. She pitches them for me. And then as far as going through and costs, me and my manager, we're on a commission base. So she don't get paid unless I get paid. So as soon as I get paid from a brand, she gets a percentage. I think she charges me 10% for outbounds and 15% for inbounds or something like that. So I get I pay her 15% for every brand that she lands, and she gets 10% for every deal that lands inside of my inbox, and she's hiring there, things like that. But I would not pay personally. I wouldn't pay a influencer manager monthly, because I need you to only get paid when I get paid, because it's literally a rabbit race being an influencer and trying to get brand deals. So.
Yeah, commission is industry standard. I was a freelance influencer marketing manager for a little bit. So commission is industry standard. And I would recommend for all of us, since we're all women of color, trying to find a manager or an agency that manages Black and people of color, because they're going to go to bat for you a lot harder than these white agencies. I've seen influencers get screwed over by white agencies. I had one friend, she was managed by a white agency, and they would ignore hair sponsorships because some of them are not as much money, or just smaller, like Black owned businesses. And she started noticing that. So she left them and she's on her own now. But I always recommended people trying to find an agency that manages people of color, because they look out for each other.
I'm definitely reaching out to you. So,
okay.
What?
Awesome. All right. So my last question for the night, ladies, is what advice? I feel like this will probably kind of go through and put this whole conversation, put a cap on everything. What advice would you give all of the people who are watching, who are trying to enter the world of influencing? They don't know where to start. What would you do if you had to start completely over from scratch today? And what advice would you give to these ladies out here who are trying to grow their influence on social media?
Find something you love, do your research on it, look at engagement, look at your quote unquote competitors. Even if you got to make them your competitor in your head, like, okay, I want to reach their level, so I'm just going to think how I feel like they would think. Definitely finding a niche. I definitely think that's important, but I also do feel like it can get boring making the same kind of content, because it's kind of the same thing. So if you're doing makeup, you can apply foundation but so many times. Yes, you can do, eyeshadow, whatever the case may be. Same with hair. You could do but so many side parts, center parts, curly, so it's like you have to find a way to make it interesting. And I remember you guys were saying earlier, people, I kind of lost track of what I was saying, but moral of the story is definitely find something you love, stick to it. I know everybody always hears, stay consistent and everything like that, but it's not all about staying consistent. You have to be interesting. You have to give something to the people that they want to watch, that they learn from, that they want to go try to experience, they try to do. So definitely stick around something like that. I hope that wasn't all over the place, because I kind of lost my train of thought.
No, you're good. Anyone else?
Yeah, so I'm gonna keep it short, but two phrases that I'm gonna say is use what you have to get what you want. Too many people are waiting until they get the camera, waiting until they get the light. Look, the sun come up and it be outside. Prop your phone up and get the content done. And then the other phrase that I'm going to say is the key is you. Like that, I have so much meaning behind my name. The key is me, because the key is you. You are the key to unlock whatever it is that you want to do. So find that reason why, because I'm gonna know a lot of people on here probably have done the research. You've probably been on multiple calls. You've probably had people, pour into you. You have a whole list of things that you want to do, but there's something holding you back, and you got to tap into that and figure out what that is.
Oh, go ahead. You can go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, my entire YouTube career and like even in business, it was all about collaboration. So I would say for any of you guys who have been on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram for a long time, maybe you've been in business for a long time and you're just not hitting your goals, you have to find a community. So if any of you guys are in Atlanta, reach out to me. I'm always down, but I think there is a certain type of like level of like humbleness when you have to get outside your ego and just reach out to someone and say, I admire you. Like, I like what you're doing. I want to do what you do. That's not wrong. Like, that's okay. And I think now everybody wants to be a celebrity, especially here in Atlanta, that, able to just DM girls and just say, girl, your goals, can I take you out to drink? Do you want to meet up? Like, let's just link. I don't know how you can help me or how I can help you, but we are powerful together, which is why I love little panel tonight.
Yes, me too.
Yes,
somebody said we should have a mixer in Atlanta. I think
I agree.
I like
this. I agree.
I'll fly out because I love Atlanta. I want to move.
Yes.
I kind of want to add to what you just said too. Me, I'll be honest. Like I just told you guys earlier, I'm from New York. I'm a Brooklyn girl, so it's so different from up north to down south. And me personally, I do feel like I'm very talented. Nice personality, whatever. But I also do feel like I'm very, very humble and nice. And I feel like that doesn't fit into the characteristics of a lot of people in Atlanta. No shade. Everybody's a Hollywood celebrity. Nobody wants to, work or collab, even if, sometimes you have to have a certain amount of followers or know somebody that knows somebody, which if you guys don't know already, please go on my channel. I talk about it all the time. Life in Atlanta is not what you think it is, especially if you're just now starting out. If you're not already used to it, you're going to be exposed to a whole different way of life. And it's like, if you don't quote unquote fit in, whatever that means, a lot of people just going to turn it back to you, because nowadays everybody's using someone to get somewhere, and a lot of authentic relationships aren't really made so much out here. It doesn't matter how pretty you are. It doesn't matter. People want qualifications and stats and numbers, and then they're like, maybe I'll talk to you, or maybe so it's definitely hard to network in Atlanta. But if you feel like you got it and you got that mouthpiece, then you better get yourself in a nice room in this panel that we're hearing right now.
Yes, I love it.
My biggest piece of advice, this is coming from like a brand aspect, that's how I always think, but look inside of you and discover what your purpose is. And if you have a product business or a business in general, look at what the purpose is within your business, and then see how that ties into your life and how you can possibly create a YouTube channel serving content with that. So that would be like my biggest piece of advice, as well as like, don't give up, keep pushing. It's going to be hard because there are people out here that seem as if they're overnight successes, but you also have to remember that we only see what they show us as well as the end result of it. And we don't really see the work that goes into it. So just keep going no matter what, even the times when you feel like you don't want to show up, create the content, and really just live out your purpose. And then everything else will follow that.
Yes.
Awesome.
Love it.
You guys all said what I would say. I think a lot of things that I tell people is just start. Just start the channel. A lot of people ask me, how did you get started? Girl, I just set up my camera and I started recording. People will be nervous. They're like, well, I don't know how to talk in front of a camera. I don't know. Well, if you don't ever start filming, you'll never learn how to do it. So I just say, just go for it and just start, because there's a space out here for everybody. There's an audience for you. You can connect with however many people there are in this world. So just start your channel. Don't be scared. It's gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And my last piece of advice would be, one thing that really helped me was me being delusional. And I know that sounds so crazy, but be as crazy as it seems. So I know, like, when I first started, I just got on camera and just was confident. Like, I've been doing this. Like, I was just being delusional. Like, I didn't even really know what I was doing, but I made everybody else think that I knew what I was doing. So definitely be delusional. I would definitely say that. And next thing is just figure out who you want to be and become that person. I was watching, I think her name is Chanel Richie. I love her channel. I was watching her the other day.
Yes.
And she just was talking about her journey. And she said that one day she's always been into social media, but one day she woke up and she was like, I'm going to be a social media strategist, and I'm just going to be a social media manager. And she said, all I did was change my name in my Instagram bio, and the next day I became that person. So literally figure out who it is that you want to be, change your Instagram bio, girl, and you become that person. That's it. That's the power of social media. So that is all that
Before
I have.
Before you end it, I want to end the panel saying two very important things. The first thing I want to say is, Troyia, I just want to give you your flowers because when you reached out to me, I looked at my email like, hold on. First of all, I know personally I know sometimes I get so discouraged because I feel like nobody's watching my videos or I'm not, reaching so many different people. And then people come to me, it's like, oh my God, I watched your video. I love your video. And I'm like, you watched my video. Like, I didn't think nobody was really like, and it's just like, for you don't understand that I was one of those people who was scared to start my new brand. I didn't know what to do. I'm really the talent. I'm not the back end, the mind behind the finances and taxes. I'd be like, Daddy, I don't know what to do. What do I do now? I don't know. And literally, I came across your channel and I binge watched nearly every single one of your videos. And I literally have a book, and most of your videos are literally taking up most of my pages. Like, I literally studied a lot of your videos, Shopify, you helped me grow my brand, you helped me start my brand, and now Shop the Body brand is doing amazing, okay? And I literally just started in February, so I just want to thank you so much, and I'm just honored that you asked me to be on this panel, because, girl, I just be talking about whatever, so I definitely want to thank you, and you are doing a great job. You're doing amazing. You're very well spoken. You're very informative. You get to the damn point, because so many people videos pop up with you. I'll type in a question and I'll see your video and I'm like, I'm gonna just watch your video because I know you're gonna answer what exactly it is I need to know. When we research things, people kind of dance around. Maybe you're not direct. You got to watch a few videos. As soon as I touch your channel, every single question I had about starting a business, you helped me with every single thing. So I just want to thank you so much for that. And my second would be, I am a homebody. I'm a homebody. I go out from time to time, but I'm very focused right now. And I'm sticking to, my business stuff, but I would love to link up with you ladies here in Atlanta. I love the fact that you guys are like-minded individuals. And I feel like this is the type of energy that I want around me. Don't get me wrong. I can have a good time. I can shake a little this, like a little that. But sometimes I just want to bond and, talk with like-minded individuals. I will be moving back to New York, unfortunately, the end of next month. So I will be happy to, if some of you ladies in Atlanta would, link up and we could talk business, we could have fun and just, vibe out.
Ooh, I'm hearing a little meetup mid-May since
please.
Okay. Mid-May.
I like the sound of that.
Let me make a group chat.
We should actually.
Let's make a group chat.
Let's figure something out. Okay. So definitely. Thank you so much for that, Paris. And I just want to say thank you to each of you guys for being a part of this. I was very strategic when I chose who to even be on the panel. I know, I made a post on Instagram and I got so many people to come and comment. Before, I didn't even know who Brittany was, but then I just went through her content. I'm like, oh, she's so vulnerable. She's so open. She's so honest. So definitely that is just really important to me to just make sure that I share my stage with people who are like-minded, people who get it, people who are open, transparent, and honest as well. So I just want to thank you guys so much for coming on and joining us. So yeah, look out for maybe a little mixer in Atlanta mid-month before I go. I definitely wanted to just share this with the ladies who are watching right now, or gentlemen who are watching too. So I did create the You Hustle ebook. So I'm really excited to present this to you guys. Those of you guys who are panelists, I'll be giving you this for free. So I'll be following up and sending that to you too. So what's included in this ebook is you'll get 2 free media kit templates that are going to help you with presenting yourself As far as your brand, you're going to get an entire brand email pitch template. So if you are having trouble when it comes to reaching out to brands, I created an entire email template that's going to help you with that. You'll have a YouTube planner template, the 3 C's to growing on YouTube. And I even included 10 places that you can go and websites and apps that are going to help you with getting brand deals. So if you're having a hard time getting brand deals and you don't know like what websites to go on or what emails to use or which ways to contact them, you'll get that too. And then lastly, I have my 10 YouTube growth hacks as well. So if you guys are interested in grabbing it, just go to stan.store/Her Hustle Academy. And you can go ahead and grab that as well. So make sure you guys go ahead and grab the ebook. So I'm really excited about that too, especially if you are really trying to grow your YouTube channel and you just don't even know where to start. Make sure you guys go ahead and grab that book. So that's all that I have for you guys. The replay will be available on Saturday at 12 p.m. and the replay will be on my YouTube channel. So I just figured it just would be easy to just have it there. So that way you guys can just go through and just watch it. And that's all that I have for you guys. Make sure you guys stay tuned for a follow-up, and it has been a pleasure. I don't even want to get off. I feel like I can talk to y'all all day.
I know, right? It's so much more that I didn't get a chance to say.
That's all right. I'll catch y'all in the group chat.
Wait, so who's gonna start the group chat?
I'll start the group chat.
Okay. I followed all y'all, so.
I'll come up there real quick.
Wait, the group chat on Instagram?
Well, that would be Troyia. I'm not gonna lie, it might be best for you to do it because I know you have all of our contacts, but I'm in there.
I do. Okay, we'll decide which one makes best work. Ooh, I'll be having a hard time answering DMs. I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
Do our message.
Yeah.
All right, that's all that I have for you guys. Have an amazing day. Make sure you guys go ahead and grab the ebook. And like I said, the replay will be available on my YouTube channel on Saturday at 12 p.m. See you guys later. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.